What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mr. Straight Facts Show. I am Mr. Straight Facts. Man, we lost a giant today. Reverend Jesse Jackson. We lost Reverend Jesse Jackson. I'm going to start this off. Usually you've been seeing shows start off with, the topic of the day and then end it with Jesse Jackson, end it with the positive at the end. I'm going to start it with the positive. Then we're going to get into the trash of the day. But I'm going to start it with the positive. Reverend Jesse Jackson. I first saw him as a kid, not in person. Don't get it twisted. I'm from Indiana. So I saw him on Sesame Street and on television. And I remember that, I am somebody. The Rainbow Coalition, I remember that. I also remember the history of Reverend Jesse Jackson was the person who came up with the term black on black crime and also African American in this country. He was the first one to start pushing for African American, and some people, and this is in the 80s, were against it. They wanted to stay with black, and that became an issue, almost like light-skinned and dark-skinned black people. We had to have some kind of divisiveness around something that was trying to lift us. But either way, both of them is acceptable. But he came up with that term. And the black on black term, he came up with it. If you've been around long enough, you know what I'm talking about. It was a positive thing. It was talking about black people not being found when there's crime in black communities. So if there's something that happened in a black community, it had to deal with black people. Like our black women and children were coming up missing. And Reverend Jesse Jackson and his coalition of people, they had a modicum of power, facial recognition, name recognition. So they stood up and they said, look, you guys have got to start paying attention and trying to find our babies. When we say our kids have been missing for 24 hours, the first thing you say is they ran away. Who want to live in this poor community anyway? Maybe they ran to a better place. Instead of thinking somebody took them. Somebody's abusing them right now. Someone's killing them right now. These police, racist as they were, did not give a fuck about a black body. So he's talking about black people coming up missing in black communities. This black on black crime. And it was Reagan and Nixon who both came up with the idea of fuck trying to find these babies. Let's turn black on black crime into an evil thing. Kind of like woke. It was meant to help. Hey, look out for everybody so you won't get hurt. And racist white people turn it into a negative. What black on black was meant to find black people and black kids and black people who come up missing. Try to solve our crimes too in our black communities. Black people in black communities need our crimes solved too. We just didn't run away. Somebody snatched our ass. Could you help us? And instead of saying, oh yeah, we'll help you. No, they said, fuck you. And turned it into a slogan, which helped them win a race for governor and president and all these other things. Because they used it to say, we got to stop this black on black crime. So much black people having crime. And all of a sudden, we got black people, Latin people, white people, all people, foreign people coming to our country screaming black on black crime. And using it in the racist term. The two racists who came up with it, it's their version of it and not ours. See, Reverend Jesse Jackson had it as a positive term to help black people because racist white people weren't. And every time black people say, look, y'all keep turning things that that are good into bad, get over it. It's not happening. It is happening. Our terms are always turned against us. And Americans fall for that shit. Even though black people keep telling you, that's not what woke means. That's not what black on black crime means. But it doesn't matter because your hate does not allow to listen to us and take it the right way. You rather take it from the pale person that makes it the fuck up and colonizes our term and pushes it toward hate, and they know it'll work every time. Why? Because it's worked every fucking time. If this country wasn't racist, they would have denied this woke bullshit term and said, hey, that's black people's term. You guys are colonizing it. It means to be good. But how many of us, black, white, Latin, and different, have taken that term and rode with it in the racist terminology? A shit ton, millions. How many times have black people told you that's not what it meant? You still use it that way. Reverend Jesse Jackson is one of a dying breed. This is going to be something that my brothers and sisters should be listening to. And what do I mean he's a dying breed? We had Medgar Evers and many before him, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Reverend Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Reverend Al Sharpton, give him his credit. I didn't give Martin Luther King his credit. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., or vice versa, but I got to give him all his credit. But we've had all these leaders, and it kind of like stopped. Now ask yourself, why did it stop? Black people. I'm not asking anybody else. Black people, why did it stop? Why do we think we've reached the pinnacle and don't need someone to lead anymore? Because I want you to understand something, and this goes for all of us. The only reason Donald Trump is in office is because they had a mission, and they met, they organized, they galvanized, they financed the entire thing, and they built around a mission, not a political mission. But their thing is to save whiteness. All the while they're creating how to make this country under their power. You question, Americans, that we are 70% that have moved past this. That's what we have determined. 30% of America is just this way. They're looking for that white power shit to lead them to whatever, to glory. So it's 70% of us that can't unite worth a fuck. That's why we're taken over by 30% of us, because they're united around hate. They're united around white supremacy. Even if they say they're not, they are. They're not fighting for anything good. Do you understand that ICE was at an elementary school chasing kids? Elementary kids. How the fuck is that for all of us? Are you worried that these elementary kids are going to unalive you? Are they the worst of the worst as they eat their fucking PB&J, drinking their milk and shit? These kids are the ones that are the worst of the worst. Quit fooling yourselves if you think that's what they were there for. We already know that they use kids to try and get the parents. So they're trying to kidnap a child and torment a child so they can go get their dad or mom or uncle. And you Americans think that shit's okay? Those 30% are joyous about it until it happens to them. But us 70% ain't mad enough because we haven't taken it to the 30% and told them to fuck off of this shit. We keep giving them the leeway. You know, maybe they're doing it. Maybe they're trying to get. No, they ain't. They ain't worried about nothing but white supremacy. No matter what they say. I don't care if you black. You're trying to bring white supremacy back into this country strong. You are on the side of the fucking KKK and you're proud of it. That's some sick shit. And don't get it twisted. The KKK ain't on their side. They're on the KKK side because the KKK people are leading this bitch. It ain't the regular Republicans leading it. It is the KKK white nationalists that are leading our country, and the rest of you are following them who vote for that shit. So don't get it twisted. You say you're not racist? Fuck that. You can't say you're not racist when you support one. You can't say you don't have nothing to do with pedophilia when you support one. You're putting money in the pocket of those who are still doing it because we haven't caught them. And we don't have a leader at all on our side to overcome these dipshits, the 30%. And they know it. They've learned. This is why Republicans would never win again if Americans focus on the idea of what is their strategy. It is always divide and destroy. It is never build. It's always make the rich richer. Fuck everybody else. Instead of recognizing that and saying, we got to get rid of this shit. And then recognizing any other party that's going through the same things, but just not as much. You got to fix your shit, Democrats. Independence. Maybe we can follow down that road. Whatever it is, America's got to get fed the fuck up of this shit and make it the country they say they want. Or we can just shut the fuck up and just let it just burn. We got a lot of people who want to do that. Just let it burn. But they don't realize when it burns, we want to have a country. It'll be purge outside. No rule of law. Your kids are unsafe. Your family's not safe. None of that if the country goes to shit. We need a leader or leaders that have the same mentality of what America wants so we can work towards something. We're so divided. Even within that 70%, we can't get 30% of us or even 35 to beat them whatsoever. I saw a podcast, clip of a podcast, and it was three white people. One, I think he may have been Muslim. I'm not sure. I don't understand who he was. But he looked white to me. But anyway, three white people together claim to be liberal and care about the country. And if it was between not Donald Trump, but a Republican and I forgot who the other person was. Let's say the one, Gavin Newsom. This person, Gavin Newsom. Oh, I'll take a third party. That right there is the fucked up part about this country. You want to beat the demon, but you want to be a bitch about it. Get the demons out first, and then hold the party accountable for what you need. But to split the vote and then allow the bullshitters to unite fucks up the whole damn system. I understand. I think who is that? Hassan Piker. Yeah, that's just right. That's him. And I'm like, you're fucking up the system. Your little piece of shit person on the side ain't gonna do shit for this country. They come and they go. Get somebody. Even when you look at these people off on the side, most of them have relationships with Russia. Every past election in the past, 15 years, 20 years, they have been nobodies that pop up and end up, once they're done, they're in the arms of somebody Russian, they're in the arms of some other country, or they don't went and disappeared and won't show up until the next election. Won't do nothing for the community, don't do nothing for society. They just come in to fuck up the vote to get the party they really want to win. They're there to split the vote. And these people, like this Hassan Piker shit, splits the vote every time. He falls into the hole of what these people bullshit him. They know what he wants to hear. And the thing that kills me about it, They never look into the past of the person that they want to vote. Just what they hear. Oh my God, she wants to do this. Oh my God, she wants to do that. Oh my God, he wants to do this. Then I'm like, when have they ever accomplished any of that in their own city, their own state, their own local? Have they even tried to accomplish that? Have they ever been successful in anything they're telling you they're trying to do? No? Okay. So she can convince your dumbass, but she can't convince anybody else. So how effective is that? It's not. So how are we going to win when you keep on trying to vote for losers? It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. Get into a party that can win and fight to make them do what the fuck they say they're going to do. How you going to get in somebody? I always try to play out the scenario for them, and they still don't get it. Hassan Piker, if you see this, let's just say you wanted to vote for Jill Stein. Is it Jill Stein? Well, the one lady is all hooked up with Russia, and everybody was like, oh, Jill Stein. I'd rather go for the pothead lady, Marion something. Let's go for the pothead lady. Let's go for Miss 420, Hassan Piker. Let's say Miss 421. Let's just give her the win. What the fuck you think you're going to accomplish with her? Y'all going to smoke pot together? Y'all gonna share bongs? What are you gonna do? Tell me what bill she can pass. Tell me who is she gonna get on her side when it's just her against the world? Because the rest of the party ain't listening to that woman. So you wanna, I just wanna rough things up. That ain't roughing things up, that's fucking things up. It's people like you that I just don't get. You rather tear down something than to figure out a way to build something. And if these people like Jill Stein and the Miriam lady really wanted to help this country, where are they now when it's going to shit? I haven't heard one of their voices stand up and say, this is wrong. You should have elected me. And we need to fight this. We need to fight that. And you haven't heard them say nothing about Renee Good. You haven't heard any of them say anything about Adam at all, or Alex, Preddy. You haven't heard anything. They haven't said a word about him. But you would want to vote for somebody who doesn't give a fuck about this country until election happens. Disappear all the time. Hassan Piker, you say more about this country and what it should be than the people you talking about trying to elect. That doesn't make any sense. You might as well run yourself. You're doing more than they are. It's just crazy to me. It's just crazy to me. I'm not even saying that it had to be Gavin Newsom. I'm just saying, if we're going to agree on something, let's agree on something. But these side party deals ain't going to get us back into power to get shit right. I don't know how young or how old that kid is, but if you have a kid, think of your kid's future. How are they going to have a future with these Republicans out here destroying everything for anybody who's not quote unquote pure white or economically in an echelon that is nowhere near like average white people? They are the top 1 to 3%. The rest of these white people who think they're in the in crowd, you're not. They stealing your kids like fucking Skittles. Having no problem with it. Forcing your kids to have kids. While you thought they done died and went to the burial, one of these rich bastards had them in a dungeon this entire fucking time. And you're like, oh, I just love to be voting for this person. I just love this person's Victoria's Secret. He was holding a lot of fucking secrets. Funding the dungeon with your see-through bra on. It's just insane to me. I'm for fighting for what's good and holding people accountable. I think whoever's running, Americans and for lack of a better term, should light into their ass on the issues. Whoever runs, tell them I'm not here for your bullet points. Give me an actual plan or shut the fuck up. What's your plan? Well, I want to lower taxes. How? I don't want to hear you saying lower tax. I want to lower taxes. Let's see if your plan will beat mine. What's your plan? Oh, I came with one. You better have one. You running. I'm on the sidelines and got a plan. You can't tell me if you ain't got no plan and you sitting there in front of me, because I ain't going to settle for no concepts of one. So get in the lab, figure some shit out, and pitch the world your fucking plan. Not the bullet points. I don't want to hear. I want to lower the cost of this, and I want to give this for free. How the fuck you going to do it? Because if you ain't got a plan, this shit ain't nothing but a dream. Even with a plan, you can still fail. With a dream, that shit might not go anywhere. I'm getting tired of people getting in position and forgetting the mission. So if America's not hard on them and tells them to stop giving them these fucking bullet points, you're going to end up with the trash that you actually elected. I have no problems with people saying, I really don't have a plan toward that. We're working on it right now. Honesty, best policy. But as you run for it, down the line, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, you ain't got a plan in 6 months. You ain't going to have one in a year. So if you ain't got nothing, not even a germ of a plan in 6 months, all it is a concept. Try again. If we aren't this harsh toward our leaders, we're going to continue getting the crap in office and bitching and moaning about what we elected. Here's another thing. And we all are guilty of this. But it depends on how loud you're screaming and complaining about it. Oftentimes, we elect somebody and that's our guy, that's our girl, whatever it may be. And once they get in office, we go on cruise control. We think they're going to handle it. We don't have our foot on their necks and calling them and saying, hey, when is this plan going to happen? Hey, what is this thing right here? Hey, what is that? By the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, you come together and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. If we don't have a coordinated effort for that, we really don't want organized politicians. We're just as guilty as them, giving them the position and never watching them do their job. Only being reactionary. This is why, just as well as Reverend Jesse Jackson, we need leaders. Not always in the political realm, saying to speak. We need that as well. But we need people who are literally going to get leaders to stand up, to fight, to put their foot on their neck, to fund organizations that's going to make sure what we want happens. And that they don't get in bed with the politicians. They're in bed with us, the people, fighting for the people. Because everybody's got a job to do. We don't all want to be calling every 5 minutes. But everybody should have their own purpose, their own mission within this. If there are people who have no problem calling, then a group of us should be calling. There are people who don't mind going to Washington, D.C., should be a group out there lobbying in D.C. But if America ain't fighting for America, who the fuck is going to do it? You see, these groups of people, these white nationalists, these people are organized. They say the same shit. It's like a freaking small military group of people, and they've gotten a massive amount of Americans to sign up for an organization to go out there and be a fucking Gestapo. Energized every day to the point where today, 4 days ago, I believe it happened, but I learned about it today. Kids, elementary school, being chased as soon as they get off the bus. Ooh. These people who hate or organize. Us who love think the shit's just going to grow by itself. Going to fix itself. That little 30% is whooping our ass. And what are we going to do about it? At least talk about it. Figure out, like, should we organize under something that's already organized? But that's always a problem, because what the fuck have they been doing this entire time if they've been organized? And how often do they hold a meeting with people to be able to inform people, like, what is going on, and where's the money going, and how is this happening? If they can do it, we should be able to do it. That's the sad part. Republicans have figured out, and MAGA has figured out, how to get all these people on the same plane. Even to ignore pedophilia amongst their own ranks. They've got them controlled. And we can't get each other to listen to one plan that can work for us all, or to come up with ideas so that we can get something that we can work toward. Maybe a conference or something. Everybody meets up. I don't know. I just know that we need something like that Charlie Kirk organization for good people, for Americans who want right things to happen and not wrong, for people who aren't afraid, but people who are tired of the bullshit. Not to brainwash people, but to bring people who use their brain. That's the way I see it. Love that, Dennis. Rest in peace, Jesse Jackson, another great man lost to time. 100%. 84 years old. Yeah. But those are the things that we look at, that our past. Reverend Jesse Jackson is a dying breed. We don't see those people anymore. We got people thinking that everything's all great, that the brainwashing of American history and all that shit, and taking it away and trying to get people to go back to the past, all that. Everything they work for starting to die, and these racist white people are loving it every fucking second of it. Because their work is superseding what we're doing, because we're not working anymore. What are we doing? What are we doing as Americans who don't want this shit to happen to our country? Yelling at Democrats to stand up and do something while they go through lawsuits and do whatever they got to do. There's no system. We are the ones who have to get out and elect them back into office. And we're the ones who got to stand on their necks when they get back into office. We got to teach our kids how to do the same things. If you want something, this country to do for our people, meaning like Americans who are good, then you have to literally fight for it. Because when you're on cruise control, trust and believe, those hateful bastards are in super drive. They have this is the crazy part. Their hate gets them up every morning, focusing on how they can fuck up everybody else's life every day. That's their energy. We're sitting here like, I just want to, and it's sad because we just want life to be just a good life, you know. Focus on your family, focus on your job, career, build your career, get enough money to take care of yourself and your family and all stuff like that. You're just on life, everyday life shit. And these rich billionaires, every day, they don't have to worry about paying any bills. They're focused on how can they keep you down so they can stay rich. Their everyday thing is, oh yeah, I got a CEO running the company, and I got a CEO running that company too. They all bringing me gazillion dollars a year. Now we can focus on having these meetings, having these orgies, having this extra time, having this pedophile ring, the sex trafficking ring. They got all the time to be doing that shit because they got a shit ton of our money and fucking everybody over. I'll fire 400 of them, fire 4,000 of them. While we work our entire lives just having a good life, trying to. And the reason that we're not having it is because we've been suckered by them what a good life is. and whether they're going to give us access to it. Sad. Now, I mentioned a few times, I don't know if you've seen it yet, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, his tribute. I'm gonna do that right now. And there's a tribute that I think now this did years ago, and it was while he was running, I think for president. But this is their the Keep Hope Alive speech.
Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive on tomorrow night and beyond. Young America, hold your head high now. We can win. You must never stop dreaming. Face reality, yes, but don't stop with the way things are. Dream of things as they ought to be. Dream. Face pain. But love, hope, faith, and dreams will help you rise above the pain. Use hope and imagination as weapons of survival and progress, but you keep on dreaming, young America. Dream of peace. Peace is rational and reasonable. War is irrational in this age and unwinnable. Dream of teachers who teach for life and not for living. Dream of doctors who are concerned more about public health than private wealth. Dream of lawyers more concerned about justice and the judgeship. Dream of preachers who are concerned more about prophecy than profiteering. Dream on the high road with sound values. You must never surrender to inequality. Women cannot compromise ERA or comparable word. Women are making 60 cents on the dollar to what a man makes. Women cannot buy meat cheaper. Women cannot buy bread cheaper. Women cannot buy milk cheaper. Women deserve to get paid for the work that you do. It's right and it's fair. I'm often asked, Jesse, why do you take on these tough issues? They're not very political. We can't win that way. If an issue is morally right, it will eventually be political. It may be political and never be right. Fannie Lou Hamer didn't have the most votes in Atlantic City, but her principles have outlasted every delegate who voted to lock her out. Rosa Parks did not have the most votes, but she was morally right. Dr. King didn't have the most votes about the Vietnam War, but he was morally right. If we're principle first, our politics will fall in place. When you see Jesse Jackson, when my name goes in nomination, your name goes in nomination. I was born in the slum, but the slum was not born in me. And it wasn't born in you, and you can make it. Wherever you are tonight, you can make it. Hold your head high. Stick your chest out. You can make it. It gets dark sometimes, but the morning comes. Don't you surrender. Suffering breeds character. Character breeds faith. In the end, faith will not disappoint. You must not surrender. You may or may not get there, but just know that you are qualified, and you hold on and hold out. We must never surrender. America will get better and better. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive on tomorrow night and beyond. Keep hope alive. I love you very much. I love you very much.
Beautiful, beautiful. See, this is the thing that we're missing is someone to continue that process of keeping hope alive. Because again, we had, I don't know if you guys remember the inauguration President Obama, and how he walked out, and Reverend Jesse Jackson was in tears. I mean, like tears, and shaking tears. You know, like snot tears. He was going there, and you see that both of them worked on hope. Both of them were about there's hope in this country. And this country's on the right track when it believes in hope. It's on the wrong track when it believes in hate. Donald Trump preaches hate. And that's where our country wanted to go. Don't get it twisted. This country went down the river, down the toilet, because the hate of Obama. People saw him in power, and people who were mostly Republicans, all they did was push hate. He's not an American citizen. His middle name is Hussein. We were going at the time trying to find Osama bin Laden, and Hussein, we had overtaken him in the Arabic country, and Saddam Hussein. And so he tried to attach him to murderers and killers and rapists and not being a citizen, everything that nobody should have fell for, because we knew he was born in Hawaii. But the people who claim to not be racist in this country went the opposite direction of hope and ran toward hate and called it hope. That this racist was going to somehow bring this country back from the brink. The brink of what? Of hope? The entire time that President Obama was in office, trying to get Americans health care, you had a party that said that they wanted to promise health care, both of them, for over 50 years. They had a promise. And once it happened, instead of working for the people to make that plan a better plan, because that plan was created by a black man, they wanted to destroy it. Destroy America's opportunity for having health care for all of us. And Americans fought it because a black man came up with it. Not because it wasn't a good plan, because it was. Could it get better? Hell yeah, every plan could get better. Everything we got in this country started out kind of fucked up. We started out with welfare. It started fucked up. Why? Because only white people could get it. Latin, black, Chinese, nobody else could get it. So all the rest of us was over here dying while they were giving money to white people only. That's pretty fucked up. Then when we worked it out and it started to work toward more than just white people, then it became a better plan. They didn't get rid of the plan altogether. They made it better for everybody. And when that happened, they literally started talking about the system's broken. It doesn't work. It doesn't this. It's not good. Quit giving handouts. I'm like, you gave handouts for 30 or 40 years to white people and never called it a handout. You called it a hand up. And as soon as you started giving to black and brown people, you called that shit a handout. At some point in time, we got to stop if we want this thing to work. Got to stop sitting here trying to act like what they are doing didn't happen. We got to start holding these racists accountable. That means all of us, not just black people, not just these Latin cultures out here that are fighting their ass off, Venezuelan, El Salvadoran, all Mexican, whatever, Asian people. It can't just be one culture fighting them. We all have to stand up and say, we're tired of your bullshit. And not just let them walk away without any accountability. We need to start throwing some of these people in jail. Do you understand? Their hate for us, the poor, white people, black, Latin, Asian, immigrants, whatever it may be, their hate for you is strong enough that they would kill you and think nothing of it. Have no remorse that your body lay dead in the ground, like Alex Preddy. Had no remorse. In fact, did everything they could to cover it up. Won't even let the police get the evidence. Took everything away. Let the person who shot the person disappear into the great nowhere. Told him to leave the scene of the crime. They got enough hate to organize and not hold themselves accountable. And we're supposed to have enough love to just forgive. Fuck all that. At some point in time, we got to hold them accountable. Love on ourselves, but those who wish to harm us, we need to put them in their place. And when I say place, where they deserve. Jail, fines, whatever it may be, through the court and legal system, and make the shit work. At some point in time, you get tired of the bullshit. It's like, man, why are we always going back and forth over stupid shit? Everybody should be treated fair and equal in this country, and it's not hard to do. The hard part is people's feelings. I don't want to be treated like this, and I want to be treated like that. If everybody was treated like white people are treated in this country for the most part, we'd be good. Nobody get treated bad, correct? You got assholes everywhere in every culture. But if we just let it go like it was, there's nothing. You break a law, you go to court. Just do no killing people in the street for no fucking reason. If they do, we all determine, hey, this situation needs to go to court, and we can all make our decisions about it on as in the public. But going to court and seeing that when police officers do their job, they're applauded. When they fuck up, they should go to jail just like anybody else. Get rid of this immunity bullshit. Putting somebody on a hierarchy over somebody else. Oh, their life doesn't matter, but this cop life does. I'm like, no, it should not be. You should be thinking 3-4 times before you kill a child or kill a person. You should not be like, oh, I'm protected. Bang, bang. Well, he got out the car fast enough. That's why you got these conversations between that one officer or whatever he is, DHS person, saying when he shot the woman who lived, the Latin woman, I don't remember her name, but she was in court or something here recently, where the guy bragged about shooting her 6 times and she ended up having 7 bullets, or 5 times and 7 holes in her body. Like, match that. They had no remorse. That's how much hate they have. And don't give a flying fuck about nobody else but themselves just because the color of their skin. And we sit here as good people saying that's wrong. And once we get empowered, we don't do shit. Merrick Garland did nothing. If you do not hold these people accountable and harshly, they'll continue to do it. Every time Republicans come in, they're harsh as hell on Americans. Donald Trump, the first time, made children disappear. Who knew he was a pedophile? So where are these kids at? 1,500 kids gone. You think they literally somewhere just hanging out? Because you think they would have saw themselves on the news. Oh, there go mom. They didn't see themselves on the news because we don't know where those kids are. Especially with Donald Trump being being connected to people who were trafficking children. We haven't connected that, huh? They need to be held accountable. They're interviewing Les Wexner. I think his real name is Leslie Wexner. Tomorrow. And it's behind closed doors. Again, it should be all Americans seeing this shit. All Americans should see it. It should never be behind closed doors because that way they kind of spin it. No matter what. I don't want to hear either spin, Republican or Democrat. I want to hear the questions asked and the answers from him. I want to see him sweat in front of a camera. I want to see him get a question and kind of freak out because the question he doesn't want to answer. Democrats who are leaders, I got some questions I want you to ask. Just some stuff that I looked up. That I want you to ask this man. Okay? We're going to go off with Les Wexner. Now, if you don't know what he looks like, this is the man right here, right? Estimated that this man gave Jeffrey Epstein a minimum of $100 million, supposedly taken from him. He said himself in one article, he said hundreds of millions. So minimum 100 million, maximum hundreds of millions that he's gotten from this man. We still got the question, Democrats, why the hell did a grown-ass man give another man the power of attorney for his shit? Your wife didn't even have the power of attorney of your shit, but you gave it to this man. That, mind you, you met him in his 20s. He had no experience to do what he was doing for you. And he was your client, or you were his client, when he was working at Bear Stearns. He was referred to you. That's another question, Democrats, you should ask. Who at Bear Stearns introduced you to Jeffrey Epstein? That's one. Why, Leslie Wexner, would a billionaire at the time, he was worth 1 point something, 1.4, 1.7, something like that billion then. Why would a billionaire who's worked his life off to get the money he's gotten, started a store, when you started a store, I believe, your dad had a store, you wanted to do something different, your dad didn't want it, so you got a loan or some shit like that, started a store at $5,000 and ended up selling like really fast stuff off the shelf. Your dad was selling stuff that was kind of high price, wouldn't go off the shelf. You decided to do shit that fly off the shelf. You took $5,000, started a business. Now, a man who started a business like that, turned it into a billion-dollar industry, you're going to tell me you trusted your money, the executive of all your business and shit and your homes, to a man you met and was referred to, and never checked him to see if he was doing dirt with your money the entire time that he was with you? Please explain that away. Explain that to us. In public, those questions should be asked, because I want to see him squirm when you ask him that type of question. What did he do for you to give him that money? And we know he didn't have the experience to manage your money to begin with. That was not his thing. How did you give a man that didn't know how to do what you wanted him to do, didn't have a resume to do what you wanted him to do, but you gave him the executive of your $1.7 billion at the time? Strange. Very, very strange. Now, that's not the only thing. I would present to them or to him in this room, and I don't know how, they got 5 minutes, so they should tag team. They should tag team. Literally have one of you guys read this letter, tell him to think about it, while the Republican goes off and talks about stupid shit. Do you like peanut butter? Really? I like it. Crunchy? No? No? Creamy? Thank you for coming today. Nice suit. Oh, how did you start Victoria's Secret? Yeah. Wonder what strawberries taste like in the winter. Stupid shit, right? That's what the Republicans going to come up with. Well, thank you for your time. Then the continue part of the tag team, preferably, Jasmine Crockett. Feel me? Either her or one of the other lawyers that really can light into their ass and ask him questions after you have read, the first person read this. You might want to get Jerry Nadler to read this, because half the time when he's saying, you just be like, dude, go back to sleep. But Jerry Nadler asked a great question last time. I ain't gonna lie. You did a good job on that. But let's get to the actual statement here of this man. There was a letter written by Jeffrey Epstein in the Epstein files, addressed to Les Wexner. And this one, I think they should read out loud to him, or at least the section in which makes a lot of sense now, that got me to thinking, how did he give this man his money? How and why? So let's go ahead and read. Let's see if I got it here. Yeah, there it is. We're going to read this out loud. Okay. If it ever comes up. Is it not coming up? No, I don't think so. Let's see. Let me see if it's going to come up. It was there before. Is this it? Yeah. There we go. It's starting to act funky. All right. So it says, Les, this is coming from Jeffrey Epstein. I am truly sorry to hear that you have been the target of an extortion attempt by the same girl that has tried to extort Ehud Barak, Alan Dershowitz, and Prince Andrew. This had to be Virginia Giuffre. I guess that she is either using bottom feeder, I don't know what the hell, or is she being used by them? So, bottom feeder. In this lawsuit, he may be talking about that lawyer that he's talking about later. She may be using bottom feeder, or she is being used by them. So I don't know who he's talking about. That's a guess. He said, I am certain that John Ziegler has transmitted my suggestion that you and I sit down together. I was told, I think that's what meant that the family had no interest in a meeting. As I did not ask for meeting with family, I find that answer unsatisfactory. Okay. You see here? All right. I have never once, not once, done anything but protect your interests. Now he sounds like he's trying to beg this man for something like, I haven't done this to you. Come on, man. It's not me. I wouldn't have done this type of thing. I owe a great debt to you, as frankly, you owe to me. Now, this is where it comes in that he owes something to him. Like, yeah, you gave me the opportunity to make this money and all the stuff that I'm living, but you owe me too, bruh. Frankly, you owe to me. I was not surprised by your reticence to sit with me when my bad judgment with women became a cause célèbre. It became a problem, a public problem. As I'm sure you recall, you didn't sit with your mother or sister or Sharon when a conflict arose, as I did it for you. Say what? He says, I am sure you recall, you didn't. This is the part of saying, this is where I got you. Because as I recall, bruh, you didn't sit with your mother or sister or Sharon when a conflict arose, as I did it for you. This is what I have on you. You didn't sit with Jack Kessler, Stanley, or Stanley's sons. I did it for you. Now I got two things on you. I want you to remember, when I asked to see you, I need to see you, because I got these things against you. And I don't like the fact that you were reticent to not speak to me, because these two things I did for you. Wonder what that means. You should be asking this to Democrats. I never asked to see you. I never sent you a request. Abigail and I sat. She asked many questions. Abigail is his wife. Les Wexner, his wife. His wife he's talking about. Abigail and I sat. She asked many questions, meaning that there's something, to me, while I'm reading this, there's something to hide away from Abigail. And he's letting him know, she asked me a lot of questions. And I could have fucked you up, but I didn't. So you need to play whatever the fucking cards I want you to play, what it seems and what it feels like. But I would ask that question. What does this mean? He can probably explain it away. She made many unfair, aggressive, and false accusations, none of which could have been fully answered without violating a confidence with you. So look what I did when your wife asked me questions. I stood 10 toes down in the lie. And what I told her, they were not true. It's unfair to say that about him. That's a bit aggressive. It's false. Many of which I did not answer, some that I did. You and I had no intention of divulging any confidence of ours, no matter what accusations she made. And she made quite a few. She kind of knows, bruh. But she made them, and I covered you. I got you. As I'm sure she told you, I didn't agree with her, threaten her or you, or in any way did not behave as I did always. Putting your interests first, I always told you I would never, under any circumstances, give it up or put you in harm's way, no matter who, what, or when. I would suggest that if things had not changed, much as I know you will, that you will find a need to show this letter to Abigail. If so, I would ask that you not raise your shoulders, purse your lips, and tell her I have no idea what he means. Is Jeffrey asking for something? There must be more to it. We don't know what we don't know. This is a veiled threat to this man to do whatever the fuck he wants to do because he has something against him. Now, when you start to, there is a email that literally is talking about some kind of gang stuff that they did. And it's like, what do you mean by that? The gang stuff, right? And you gotta see if I have that one here. But there was a letter or an email where he's talking about gang. And this gang thing was all about, he said, I didn't tell about the gang stuff, right? But what is gang stuff? Of course, we think in our head, gang bang, right? But he said he didn't tell about those particular things with this Abigail person. He mentions in this letter a name, two names. And one of them, let's see right here. One of them is Jack Kessler. I had to look him up, and Stanley or his sons. He didn't tell about those two to his wife. In that statement, it sounds like there was a relationship, possible friendship, but could be more. So I went and checked out who Jack Kessler was. Turns out Jack Kessler is or was Wexner's partner, business partner, right? But, and you could probably see him. Let's see if we got him in this picture here. Yeah, I think this may be it. We'll see if it switches over. It does not. Is that him? Yeah. That's him. That's his partner, or was his partner. He passed away. Jack Kessler. Now, Jack Kessler called Les Wexner his bachelor friend. That was what he called him. And they even wrote it in this article about him, about how they started their business together and so forth, how they drove all over Columbus to find, a build site for their business. They were business partners all the way pretty much to the end of his life. And he called Les Wexner his bachelor friend. Now, remember when we were kids, I don't know how many of y'all did this, but I think all of us kind of had that mentality of we're going to hide stuff from our mom or dad, and we're going to say something to the effect of, that we like, for instance, what's his name? Snoop Dogg. The phrase like for shizzle my nizzle, uh, or we would try to cuss in front of our parents by using that like an F and whatever, whatever we want to add to it to try and like, man, oh, fish, whatever it may be. And that literally mean fuck, right? So you use terms to mean something. We all did that. Well, in the time that this man in the 80s, when they were, younger and doing their thing, and even earlier than that, to be honest, there was a term that was being used that was called bachelor friend. Oftentimes, we don't think people kind of like connect with our for shizzle my nizzle, but then there's a certain time when it becomes understandable what these people meant. But back then, when he had it, it wasn't really clear, right? But nobody calls somebody their bachelor friend, right? You think like, oh, we were friends when we were bachelors. No, you always called him your bachelor friend. That's what it's all about. Everybody knew that you called him your bachelor friend. Well, bachelor friend is a euphemism they used back in the day for what they considered confirmed bachelor, or what they also used the term, it was interchangeable, bachelor friends, literally meant gay couple, a gay male couple. That's what it meant back in his day when he said it and how he addressed it. So you start to like, and this is what I would ask. I ain't a person who wants to out people, but there needs to be an outing in this situation, because what did Jeffrey Epstein mean by he's hiding secrets about you, this guy, Kessler, Jack Kessler, and also another gentleman and his son. Now, how old was his son? We don't know. That's the problem. He mentions this guy's son in this email or in this document. And so if you're going to look at, and I had to look up, like, who was he talking about? Because there's very few, like he mentions Jack Kessler, partner. He says, I am sure you recall you didn't sit with your mother or sister or Sharon when a conflict arose as I did for you. You didn't sit with Jack Kessler, Stanley, or Stanley's sons. I did it for you. Okay. Then I looked up Stanley. Now, there's a few Stanleys in their life around that area. They had 2 or 3 Stanleys that it's in the Epstein file, so to speak. And one Stanley was a lawyer that was fighting against him. It was just like in this letter, he's talking about Virginia Giuffre. And earlier he says, I guess that she is either using bottom feeder or she is being used by them. Well, it turns out that this Stanley guy, and that's why I would like them to ask him if it's the same Stanley. This Stanley guy was a lawyer for Virginia Giuffre and 20 other people who claimed that Jeffrey Epstein and Wexner either raped them or assaulted them. At least Virginia said that Wexner did it. The other 20 were being repped by the same guy. Now, those cases never led to any kind of charges, so to speak. Many of them were just, civil. So they wouldn't have led to charges. But a lot of them won settlements, which means they had valid information that these two had done something, because she won from that lawyer the case against both of them. She blamed Ehud Barak, Alan Dershowitz, and Prince Andrew. At the same time that he was saying, I'm sorry that he's in this extortion attempt by her for Les Wexner. So we got this all together. All these people that she mentioned: Alan Dershowitz, Prince, Ehud Barak, Les Wexner, Jeffrey Epstein. They settled out of court. Now, Alan Dershowitz, she said she didn't remember, but this was a case against all of them. So she won money. His name may not have been in it, but she won money from them. And these other 20, many of them won money too, to basically shut them up. Now, my question, Democrats, if this is the same Stanley, there's a conflict of interest. Their lawyer is somebody that Les Wexner and Jeffrey Epstein both have dirt on. They worked with him before. So how is he representing their victims? That didn't make any sense to me. And that's the Stanley that they're kind of like talking about, because he's talking about them, she being used by them. That Stanley got with a group of other lawyers, and they all started to sue Jeffrey Epstein and Les Wexner. It's a lot to take in, but it sounds as if, just by reading it, that this Les Wexner had a gay relationship with Jack Kessler, that Jeffrey Epstein, Abigail, which is the wife of Les Wexner, was asking him what's going on. Because you got to understand, the wife, Abigail, she wasn't an executive of their finances. It was actually Jeffrey Epstein. So they would have conversations. And based upon the emails, when Wexner said he is no longer dealing with Jeffrey Epstein, like 2007, 2008, or whatever it was, his wife was. And supposedly, Jeffrey Epstein, after this being convicted and everything like that, his executive over the business was given back to Wexner, but to his wife. His wife had some control over it. And she found something that Jeffrey Epstein did, like selling the $77 million property to himself. It was their property, and he sold it for like something crazy, like $10 or $20 million to himself. They didn't know this supposedly happened. How you lose a $77 million property to somebody who sold it out from under you? I mean, wouldn't you get like an email or some kind of letter or something saying, hey, thanks for, selling the house? You would never get a call? I mean, again, these men back in the day were so afraid of being outed. And that's what I would ask Democrats. Did you give him executive? Because he can't lie on the oath. Did you give him the executive of your property and everything like that because you had a gay relationship with your business partner, Jack Kessler? Because based on this email, it assumes that. And I just want to make sure if that's true or not. I know he's dead now, but I just want to get you on an oath to ask that question. Because it doesn't make sense that a billionaire would give money to a dude who didn't have the education. As you read this letter, he can't even write well at all. And you gave your money to somebody who can't write a letter worth a damn, doesn't have a background worth a damn, and he threatened you 3 times in this one letter. His response to this has been, to some degree, that has been mentioned, is that he never received the letter because it doesn't have a receipt on it where he received it or not. But I doubt he bribed the fuck out of you and never gave it to you. It's just that you can say that you never got it because there's no receipt that you got it. Anyway, that is the part those are the questions that I would ask. And just in this breakdown of this, There should be so many questions that you guys, Democrats, should be asking him behind the scenes. We would love for him to have it recorded and make it live to us. I hope you do that, because this is not transparency if you're behind the scenes and Democrats and Republicans alike don't want their dirt aired out and we never see it. We're tired of you guys hiding shit. Only shit that has to deal with the safety of the country. But other than that, if it's classified, we can't touch it. But this is not. We should have it all. That's the way I feel. All right. So that is the coverage of Les Wexner, and we need to see what he's got going on, because even another thing that happened today, which I didn't quite understand, which we need to ask Democrats, Republicans, and everybody else who's in office, whatever it may be, why in the hell are we just now going to the property in New Mexico that Jeffrey Epstein owned, the Zorro Ranch? They just started to check it today. Yo, they arrested this fool in 2019. In these files, it literally says, in the FBI who read these files back then, 2006, 2008, 2019, they know that New Mexico was a place where some of these girls said they got raped. They're just checking it out. They've given this man, 6 years? He was dead in 2019, but it took a year or so before they got Ghislaine Maxwell. And anybody attached to this shit, they had years to hide this shit, bury this shit, burn this shit. You just now checking it out? What kind of detective work is that? I don't get that at all. Every last one of his properties, federal, every last one of his properties in America, you can actually go get the shit. Now, we also know he had properties in other countries. Have you contacted these countries and said, hey, can we get access to the house in which he lived in? Did you do that too? The locations that he had in other countries? I'm sure these other countries would have expedited that shit and sent it to you. I'm sure they would agree with taking it and saying, oh yeah, definitely, we'll go to the house and get the shit and bring it and send it straight to you. I'm sure many of the states, these countries that he had properties in, would have done that. Maybe not Russia, but I'm sure some of these people that did it. We haven't heard whether you guys did that. It's crazy that we're hearing in 2026, February 17th, you literally are telling us that you're just now going to look at his New Mexico Zorro Ranch property for evidence. I don't get that shit. I mean, what kind of work is that? I mean, am I missing something? I'm just shocked. Anyway, that's what a question I got for Democrats. Answer that shit. Merrick Garland, answer that shit. Bring Merrick Garland in. I'm telling you, I don't know where he went, but I don't hear Democrats even talking about him. You need to be talking about Merrick Garland. And I understand, you got Pam Bondi in there now. But we want to know, during his tenure, why in the fuck did he not go to New Mexico and get that? You may have files in there of people. I mean, at the time, they didn't know it was coming, as far as we know. Now, here's the thing. Did you guys know the first time in 2008 or whatever the hell it was, 2006, 2007, no, 2006, I think they seized property and went to his property. 2006, somewhere around there. Did you guys know he was tipped off? Did you guys know Epstein was tipped off that he was going to get raided? In these Epstein files, they literally say in it, he's asking his assistant to get rid of the computers and where to take them, to hand them off to a handler, a PI, and that PI was going to take it somewhere, and that the remaining computers for her to bring them to New York for him. He knew that he was going to get raided. Did you check? Did the FBI ever find out who was that person that let him know? I mean, I would hope that the FBI would have only let a select few people know what the fuck was going down before they did it. And if that's the case, every last one of those FBI agents should have been investigated. Every last one of them. But we didn't hear any of that. This is a clusterfuck position of investigation. I mean, this is some Ringling, Barlin, Bailey bullshit. I mean, how do you not investigate that? And the reason why they know, on top of him saying it in the emails, is that it was highly apparent when they got there. This man had a shit ton of printers, but not one computer. They got rid of all the computers and left the printers there. The fingerprints should have got it, and the assistant should have been charged for whatever the charge is about, messing with evidence. She should have been charged for it. Where's the assistant at? Who's the assistant? She should have been where did you actually take this information? Who'd you take it to? Oh, it was this guy named David. Okay, David, what'd you do with the evidence? We don't see any of that. Maybe it's in one of these 302s. I don't know. Maybe it's redacted, but it makes no sense that the Department of Justice just dropped the ball when you literally have a trail of evidence. She took it out. It's in the emails. He told her to drop it off with a PI. She did such thing. She would tell you where she dropped it off at. There would have to possibly be cameras wherever the hell they were set up at, whether it be at a grocery store, whatever. Cameras around there. You would have seen the guy, maybe a license plate. She would have gave you a name, send her to jail if you didn't. I mean, come on. This is not fucking hard. It's not rocket science. Yet, maybe it's there. Maybe it's redacted. But no charges. I would have charged her just for the fact of messing with evidence. I would have charged him for getting rid of evidence. It's in the damn letter that they did it. I don't know. America, I don't know what's up with y'all. Not us, but I'm talking about like the leaders. I don't know how they allow this shit to happen. Somebody's got to go to jail. If those people are still alive, you should still be able to charge them. I mean, come on, man. You let this shit just fly on the radar. You knew all this shit in 2006 or 2008 when he got charged, whatever the hell it was. And this man only did weekend jail time? Man. And these kids had to live with this. These babies had to live with this 30-something years or whatever it's been. Knowing that these animals was telling them, I'll kill your family, I'll kill you this, I'll do this to you, I'll do that to you. And every male and female in this range of people didn't give two shits about those children. Lawyers, judges. Alan Dershowitz is dirty. I don't care what you say. He looked dirty. He looked like demons got his spirit to begin with. I mean, he's an ugly ass man, but him. I truly believe something's dirty with him. Can I prove it? No. But in a court of public opinion, fuck yeah. You don't hang around dirt like that. You can work and do your job, but you was doing more and above and beyond your job. You was hanging with this fool. You was going to parties with him. Lawyers don't go to parties with their clients, because most of their clients they know are guilty. So you're hanging with somebody that more than likely you knew was guilty. You go into his clubs and his parties, you know this man was fucking with kids? And one of them literally said you did? Come on, man. I don't need 400 opportunities. I don't need no judge to say that it did or didn't happen in this situation. I'm with the kids. Virginia said it, I believe it. And I didn't see it nowhere in her books or anything like that recanting it. I'll look it up, but I didn't see it. I didn't see it come out of her mouth. And I sure as hell ain't taking Alan Dershowitz's word for it. So if he wanted us to believe it, show us in the document what she said, verbatim, and her signing it. I just don't understand it. They allowed this shit to happen for decades. These people have gone on, they're dead, some of them. Many of them, dead. They did this their entire lives. Never held responsible, accountable for their actions. And even when we have them, we got a core group of Americans that just don't want to charge them or even investigate them. Won't even put out the 302s. Unredacted. Excuse me. Did you guys hear about Stephen Colbert? The FCC head is up to his tricks again, trying to tell people, or at least news organizations, and CBS, fuck you, with all our hearts, from the bottom, from 10 toes down, fuck you. Your lawyers told you that they could not put Tallarico, whatever, on the show because of some rules and regulations that didn't apply to talk shows ever. It only applied to news, not the talk shows. And he wanted to apply it to talk shows because these shows pull a lot of weight. And they want to control the narrative. They know that their Republican people are not going to be put on Stephen Colbert. So they're trying to force to put the Republicans on Stephen Colbert. Well, the same thing happens with Stephen Colbert. With the Democrats, it's going to happen on the podcast shows. They're going to bring on Republican people, and they're not doing anything with the Democrat people, for the most part. And if they did put them on, they're going to give them these little softball situations. What do you want to do for America? Do the best that I can. Oh, it sounds so great. That's awesome. Well, how are you going to do it? I'm just going to do the best that I can. Oh, that's awesome. That's even better than the last question, the answer you had. It's the same fucking answer. But they get all excited about it. And they're going to rip the Democrat apart. Well, you didn't do this, you did this, and Biden did this, and Biden was hardly alive. He was sleeping. Donald Trump was sleeping. But Biden was too. He did it first. The whataboutisms is ridiculous. But this is what happened. I was so proud of him and how he responded to all of this. Stephen Colbert, let's see if I can get his video up here. And I'm not going to play it all, but let's see if I can get it. Maybe it'll show up on its own. Let's see. No, it didn't show up. Let's see if we can do it. There you go. You know who is hilarious. So it comes down to my man ripped into the FCC. Yeah, I love the way he said FCCU. It still says fuck you. But it's crazy how people literally think they can control us. I mean, it's like he thinks that it's right to step on our First Amendment rights because his little orange girlfriend gets hurt when she hears her name. Huh? It's like, get out of here, bro. Toughen up. Toughen up. Grow a pair. Because I don't understand how you're trying to tear up everybody else's rights just because you're whining and crying. You want to be the center of attention. And no matter what kind of attention it is, good, bad, or indifferent, he wants to be the person everybody goes to. And it turns out, I mean, and also I want Howard Lutnick to be in the room, not in this room this time, but I want you guys to in the House and the Senate, well in the House, I guess the committee. I want you guys to interview him again and ask him about that question that he's on him saying that he wasn't in business with him because he said he had just had a meeting. You already said that you were that first you didn't have anything to do with him, no philanthropy and all that. That wasn't under oath. They asked you under oath had you had a relationship with him. He said I just had lunch with him. I don't think they asked him had he done business with him. Maybe I'm wrong. I want him back. And if you didn't ask him if he did business with him and how much business, which business, how long was he in business? Because these lies have got to stop. They just do. Yeah, by Ronald Reagan, Dennis. Yeah. It's just been so much crap that, that we have had to deal with in this country that I don't know why people are trying to take the country backwards. I mean, there are things like our First Amendment right they shouldn't encroach upon. We got, the Constitution is the bedrock. Why are we always playing with it, trying to worsen it, to give people less rights and people having rights to vote? Why are we sitting? It's like, I look at it this way. For the Democrats and Republicans, because I don't really get gerrymandering too much at all. I'm like, why are we doing this? And I understand communities grow and people leave and come, and you have to measure like what. I get it, but everybody should have a chance to vote. That is a legal citizen. We shouldn't make it hard for people to vote, and when we do that, the country's decision becomes who we elect. Excuse me. Excuse me. The country's decision is where we elect. Their problem is that they'll think they'll never win, so they got to rig the game. When you look at Donald Trump and any Republican coming forward talking about we want to have great elections and this, that, and the third, it's like, tell me how many people have illegally voted out of the hundreds of millions of people who get the vote, who vote right now. It's 180 or whatever it is, million people who have voted. How many of them have tried to break the rules? Even the Heritage Foundation, that racist organization for 2025, Project 2025 that created that, they did a study and they found like 10 people. And I'm sitting here like, why are we even having this fucking conversation? This is a phantom conversation. We have a very small percentage of people trying to break the rules of elections. We have a system that catches them the majority of the time. And the majority of them are Republicans, voting for their grandma, their dad, their husband, ex-wives and shit. So I'm confused as the party that's talking about it is the party who commits the most crime on elections. Donald Trump hired different electors, fake ones, who literally went to the polling place and said, we're the electors, and they weren't. No validation. Tried to steal the election. Republicans. And they're the ones talking about we need to have a better election process because of fraud. You tried to fraud it, and it caught you. Tells you the system's fucking working. Because if it didn't, your electors would have got in and changed the vote. And we got a percentage of Republicans, MAGA in this country, these right-wing nut jobs, 30% of America, that are literally listening to that shit. The rest of us should be saying, fuck off, go somewhere else. We're not going to do this shit. But we didn't stand together, and therefore this country is going through hell because we did not beat the 30%, because we couldn't come together and unite and have at least a 40 or 50% whooping the 30%'s ass. Couldn't do it. We can't unite around right, but they can unite around wrong. Unify. That's why they win. If America united around what was right, I don't think Republicans would ever win again. Just saying. Just saying. So, another thing that happened in the news today was Anderson Cooper. He's leaving CBS, 60 Minutes. A lot of people are leaving that place, and I get it. I mean, it's CBS is starting to become, the Donald Trump lapdogs. They're literally doing whatever he's telling them to do. Now, the First Amendment is supposed to be a right, and every news organization is supposed to be standing up and fighting for that right. And CBS does not recognize, they take us for dummies, and they think that we have to listen to them and follow down this authoritarian path because they're scared they're going to lose money. But we should be looking at the advertisers who are advertising in these organizations and saying, where the fuck are you? Why do you keep putting shit on these shows? Close down CBS. For all I care. Stop giving them money. Because if you're worried about Donald Trump, you need to be worried about us, because Donald Trump ain't giving you no money. He's asking you for money. It's us that's giving you money. And you need to find out who the fuck you should be loyal to. The ones that are keeping your doors open and your airways open, or those who are trying to tap you for money so you can have favor with government issues. There is no money if we stop watching your ass. And if Americans start to understand your power, you would put it to them instead of letting these few win over the many. Because the many can't figure out a way to unite to beat back those in power. You too much want to cater to them and kiss their ass so that one day you might be rich. But those types of rich people, they're the ones who don't give a shit about you. You need to reorganize the class. So start buying from people who are good, making them wealthy, and then you can have a better class. These people never had good in them. They rose in a system that cared about no one. Just saying. All right. You guys are always awesome. I want to leave you with, again, keep hope alive. We definitely have to focus on doing better. In your particular cities and states, reach out to your representatives and give them what you feel. If you have the energy to do it, if you have the wherewithal to do it, some people may not have phones. I'm not aware of people's financial situation or whatever it may be. But we have got to unite around doing right. Because if we don't, the people who do wrong win. And that's what's happening. The 30% in this country that on the wrong side of history are tearing down historical landmarks, are trying to get people to believe the history of this country taught black people a lot of shit through slavery instead of black people teaching everybody else because they went through slavery. It's trying to tell you that women should be at home barefoot and pregnant, trying to take away your vote, trying to take you backwards, meaning that, hey, we want to take you back to the point where you didn't make that much money. When you heard the video I did earlier with Jesse Jackson, he said women, this was 1984. He said women made 60 cents to the dollar in 1984. It was 84. Think about that for a second. And when Hillary Clinton was running for office in 2016, right? 1984, 2016, 15 she was running, 15. In that amount of time, from 84 to what, 16 years to be 2000, another like 15 years, so 31 years. If I got my math right. In 31 years, it went from 60 cents to the dollar. In her speech, 66 cents. 31 years. And it only rose 6 cents to the man's dollar. That's insane. That shit ain't gonna change until we unite around good. There's no reason that a woman or a person of color should be making less than a white man doing the exact same job. There should never be a difference. Not unless that man is asked to do something else on top of it to get a raise. There should not be a difference. And because it is, we got to do right and get rid of that. If my daughter can do the job to the best of her abilities, there should be no man doing the same job that she's doing, making more than her. Just saying. Undoing everything, right, Hugh? Undoing everything he did. He saw a black man rise to be the most powerful man in the world as a president. And on his way out, he got to see the racists that tried to take him down, destroying everything he fought for. It is sick. This is why I say that energy, that evil energy, that's winning. And we got to find a way to defeat it. And I say the only way is to unify around making this country the country we always said we believed in, not the bullshit about it, the truth. This is we the people, meaning that every last one of us should have an opportunity, that every last one of us should be treated fairly. The thing that kills me about when people think about like affirmative action, DEI, the only reason no black person really wants all that shit. It's just that that's the only thing that has allowed us to be able to move up in life. Because they don't, if you look at the investments in this country, most of the businesses are owned by white people, not because they are the majority in this country, because the banks will not loan or invest. The angel investors, the VCs, there's just the wealthy just investors, they will not give or invest in most black-owned businesses, most Latin-owned businesses, most Asian-owned businesses. They invest anywhere between 89 to 92% specifically into white males. That's why you see all these businesses, with Facebook and all that. That's because rich white people only invest in rich white people. 97%. Go look it up. You'll start to realize they will invest their money only in their people. And then they will get pissed off if a black woman, I don't know if you remember this, just the last couple of years or so, where Edward Bloom was suing, a black firm that gave black women $20,000, right, to invest in their business. They fought and said that was against the civil rights, that they should offer it to white women too and other people. It shouldn't just be black. While at the same time, these firms invest 92% into white men. White women get like 2%. And that is a standard. They just don't say it's a race thing. But when you walk and look at the walls of people they invest in, it's a race thing. It's crazy. Anyway, you guys, love y'all. Y'all have a great night. Y'all be safe as always. Another day. It gets better. I mean, it gets better for, we got to tread through the crap to get on the other side, but we got to hold their feet to the fire. Democrats hold this man's feet to the fire tomorrow. I will be watching the news cover it and people coming out. if they do come out and give us any information, I'll try and be up to date on that and try and put out a video or something. But you know how they do. They come out, say something for a second, and disappear. You really don't get that much of a soundbite. But I'll try my best to keep up on that. So I'll see you guys tomorrow sometime around 6 o'clock, 6:30. And I appreciate you. Much love to y'all. Y'all have a good night. Be safe. I'll see you when I see you.